speaking of basketball, when I was on here earlier in the first hour, I was breaking down the ETSU Greensboro game. I'm going to be covering it for Greensboro.com, gathering some sound bites you'll be able to hear from them. I wanted to point out that, everybody talking about Francis Alonzo on UNCG, and yeah, I do think he's the best player in the conference. I thought he should have been Player of the Year in the Southern Conference last year, not Devin Sibley. In fact, I thought Devin Sibley threw away his Player of the Year status when he made turnover after turnover after turnover in crunch time, allowing ETSU to come back and ultimately taking away lone ownership of the Southern Conference Championship from Furman last year, which, if you remember the game at Freedom Hall, is exactly what happened. And then ETSU was able to win the ball game in overtime because they were able to tie it up at the end of regulation. So that's what I would have done if I had a vote. And I did have a vote on the preseason poll, and yes, I did select, for the reasons I told you, UNCG. I'm seeing analytics, and I mean, you can talk about analytics. I'm seeing the analytics say that essentially the New England Patriots, what 538 likes to say, have a 34% chance to win the Super Bowl. With that bad pass defense, internal struggles, and all of that. Meanwhile, they still give the Philadelphia Eagles one of the best chances, almost a 20% chance to win the Super Bowl. But it's higher than Minnesota, and, it's higher than New Orleans. And it's higher than Jacksonville. With Nick Foles. Right. Okay. Sure. The way they give, the Titans a 1% chance to win the Super Bowl. They give the Falcons, who were there last year, a 2% chance. I can see the Falcons because they're favored to beat Philadelphia. And then, you go to Minnesota in a winner-take-all. You go to New Orleans. I'm not saying the Falcons would be favored in either of those games, potentially, but couldn't you see them win it? I'm getting off the beaten path. I want to get back to the quick note that I was going to make. The player to watch, other than Francis Alonzo, the other guy who scored in double digits, if ETSU can take away Alonzo, is Marvin Smith. He's another guard. He's oftentimes scores in double digits. But the thing about Smith is that you're talking about guard play here. I don't know if there will be on the Spartans the man underneath that is going to be able to handle Southern Conference Player of the Week, Peter Jerkin. So I'm really interested to see how Jerkin, who's been putting the ball in the bucket, averaging 15 points a game lately, I'm interested in how he will handle his play defensively when I go cover that game. Anyway, I promised you some news on the Balls. Of course, let's see here. The Lakers have begun to worry about LaVar Ball's impact on Lonzo Ball, their first-round choice this year. Now, Lonzo Ball has been, sort of the good son, as his father says demonstrative things. And let's put it that way. But there are some within the Lakers organization fretting over how his father's constant controversial nature could hamper the rookie. And let's face it, Lakers aren't doing anything this year. Last time I looked, they had the second worst record in the league, or the NBA, if you prefer. The thing that now has come about is that about the controversial report, turmoil within the Patriots locker room that came out with ESPN. Well, what about LaVar Ball telling ESPN that the Lakers head coach Luke Walton has lost his players? Hasn't made as much noise because who are the Lakers these days? Although they do have 21 million Facebook likes, I will point that, and no other American sports team has as many Facebook likes. Say what you will. Okay, so that would be the argument that the Lakers are the most popular team in the country. it's a quasi-legitimate one. I mean, but I would still probably go with the Cowboys or the Yankees, though. Anyway, even Rick Carlisle, who was the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks, he issued a statement earlier in the week concerning this. They are getting ripped by Jeff Van Gundy, is ESPN, for handling the story. But you've got right now a 20-year-old rookie, someone who isn't even able to legally drink, who is at the center of all this controversy on a losing team. Can you see where that could get to, a 20-year-old athlete? Got your father saying one thing, he's already pulled his son out from UCLA, where there is now an international splash in Lithuania. Remember, we heard that he was going to be playing for a Lithuanian team, the younger Ball, where the coach sold meat out of his trunk, out of the trunk of his car, okay? Not somewhat of a chest, no, the boot, if you will. You want to use another English term there, I suppose. But, and you're thinking, where is he going to? Is this the American Basketball Association of Lithuania? Is that who he got him signed up with? Come on. But instead, they're selling out and creating a lot of attention in Lithuania as LaVar Ball smiles and takes it all in. Now, this is the circumstance there with the Lake. You've got to wonder, with all the distractions his father is creating, how will that affect Lonzo Ball? And the Lakers are really, afraid of that. I mean, is LaVar Ball trying to get his coach fired? How will that impact his career? More news from the Balls, though. The Big Baller brand is sued by apparel company over missed payments for gear. This about a day-old story. Sports Illustrated had it, or at least that's what I saw. Well, yeah, they had it, obviously. I don't know if they broke it. Big Baller brand. Yes, LaVar Ball's brand of sports merchandise where you can buy sneakers that $600 a pair. Being sued over missed payments to the apparel company responsible for printing and embroidering almost 2,500 pieces of Big Baller brand merchandise, according to it's the Los Angeles Times that broke the story, so forgive me. The writer's name is Nathan Fenno. So congratulations, Nathan Fenno. The lawsuit was filed in November in San Bernardino County Superior Court, but wasn't initially reported. The apparel company, it's called Closet Collection, and they allege they are owed almost $25,000 for the gear they provided to Big Baller brand last spring, according to the Los Angeles Times. A representative for the company Closet Collection suing LaVar Ball and Big Baller brand. Are you still with me? Basically, their entire website was produced by us, is what they're saying. When it came time to make payment, they bailed. They kind of bailed, is what they're saying. But that's the quote. They tried him for 3 months. They said they'd make a payment 7 times. Folks, it's not like it's $25,000 for crying out loud. I mean, the Ball family has taken more than that in from the Lakers. Meanwhile, the Better Business Bureau, by the way, I'm Marky Billson. The Better Business Bureau, says Billson, has given Baller brand an F rating. You thought it might give him a B? Yes, an F rating for Big Baller brand, according to the Better Business Bureau, says Billson. This is because of customer complaints saying the company did a poor job communicating when asked about when orders would arrive, and it also sent some customers the wrong sizes or the wrong merchandise. But meanwhile, LaMelo and LiAngelo Ball, as I mentioned before, combined for 29 points in their Lithuania Pro debut on Tuesday. The thing is, okay, it's big news in Lithuania. Their future, one would think, would be in America. And you'd be doing far better starring for UCLA instead of taking all that big bucks that you bring in from ticket sales for a league where previously the coaches were backseat butchers, no, literal butchers, selling meat out of the boot of their car, the trunk of their car beforehand. I'm not making this. So, yeah, there is cause for concern. And it's not a surprise, is it? I mean, does anybody actually believe anything LaVar Ball has to say? The sad thing is, I actually do see some people that do. That's distressing. That's very distressing. All right, Tri-City Sports Now. I'm Marky Billson. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about LSU. Matt Canada is on the skids. They're not. They're going to hire a new coach. There's some baseball news coming up on the way. Garrett Cole was going to get traded to the Astros, and he's not going to get traded to the Astros. Who knows what's going on there? The name of the program is Tri-City Sports Now, and we will return after this.